Welcome back to another combo video. Just like my last video, which I'll link on screen, which covered Vauban and a set of weapons that synergized or was fun to play with his particular loadout. This video obviously is covering Mag, which will have a look at Mag's abilities and the weapons that either synergize well or are just fun to play with using Mag. The clip I'm about to show is pretty much showcasing what a high damage weapon can do with Mag's second and third ability, but that's not going to be the primary focus of the video, because in normal missions you're not going to be using this weapon as often as you would other weapons. But yeah, we'll get into that, and then after I show what the combo and the builds can do, we'll go over the actual build so you can see what I'm using for Mag, you can see what I'm using for the other three weapons. Now with the weapons I choose, it's very subjective, you can use what you want, but I very much like to see weapons that have a fast time to kill with these particular abilities with Mag. Now I've tested quite a few weapons and they all do the job, but certain ones tend to kill a lot faster than others. So right, the clip I'm about to show you now is going to show you the Lanka with Mag's second and third ability, but because it's not very practical in normal missions, it's not going to be the primary focus of the video. So I'll show you basically what the Lanka can do with Mag's second and third ability as a high damage weapon, and then after that obviously we'll look at what the actual combo setup is that I've set up. Now in this it's level 135 corrupted heavy gunners, and I'm using the Lanka, and you'll see what the Lanka can do with the second and third ability. Now in normal mission you wouldn't have to wait this long for the third ability to reach the enemies, because you'd be much closer to the enemies. So obviously the third ability's got them now, so now the second ability goes off, charge up one shot, and that's what the Lanka can do with Mag's second and third ability. And as you can see, obviously it's a combo setup that's pretty strong, but in normal missions on the star chart that you're running, you're not going to be running the Lanka or other snipers normally. You're going to be running normal traditional weapons like assault rifles, grenade launchers, things like that, and obviously secondary pistols and certain other melee weapons. So next up obviously we'll go over the three actual weapons I'd recommend using with Mag's second and third ability, which you'll see on in a moment against the same enemies. Corrupted heavy gunners level 135, you'll see that they do the job pretty well. Right, first up is the Zarr Prime, which is the primary weapon I'm going to showcase with the second and third ability of Mag's, which you'll see is magnetize and polarize. So we'll get up the 8 level 135 corrupted heavy gunners, get ourselves down there, polarize, now magnetize, see how far this goes. Ooh, I was expecting it to be a little bit better. Fire in again. Right, we'll try that one more time, see how, because sometimes trial and error, it can do better one time and then a bit worse another time, so we'll try that again. Just see if it's consistent. Right, that seems to be a lot better. Oh, one's still going. And the bubble should finish him. There you are, so that's the Zooge Prime that does pretty well with the polarized magnetize. Now we'll do again, but we'll obviously cover the next weapon, which is the Synex. Polarize, magnetize, and that's stripping the enemy's health and armor pretty quick. And he should be gone. Yep, all gone. And the Synex is pretty fun and easy to use in normal missions, pretty much fire and forget, because the projectiles are homing, so they lock onto the targets. Now for the melee weapon. The Redeemer. Well, the Redeemer Prime, I should say. So same again. Polarize, magnetize, all gone. So as you can see, the three weapons I've chose are pretty powerful. And they're pretty good, they're pretty fun to use. So either way, you're going to do high damage and good damage with Mag's abilities, and you're also going to do a lot of damage without using the abilities. So for example, if we run this without the abilities, which I assume some of you may already know what this is going to turn out like. So there's the Redeemer Prime without the abilities. Now let's go over again the next weapons without the abilities. Alright, Zooge Prime. Keep in mind with the Zooge Prime, if you get too close it will kill you because of the self damage. Now the time to kill with the Zooge Prime compared to the abilities is obviously a bit slower. But it would help if you didn't have as much impact that knocks the enemies all over the place. Now we'll try again, but this time it'll be the Synex. Now, without the abilities being used, you'll notice obviously the armor is stripping off faster than it was with the abilities. But the time to kill is reduced, because you haven't got that extra damage multiplier from Magnetize and Polarize being comboed together. But this is where I stated at the start of the video where it comes down to preference and what you want to use. Now, if you're not going to primarily focus on firing into your abilities, I'd recommend the Moro Detron or the Staticor for doing this. Where you see the difference in time to kill. The time to kill was really bad without using the abilities for the Cyanex. So if we do that again, so you can see exactly what I mean. Use polarize, magnetize. Keep in mind the time to kill a moment ago was ages to try and kill all of these with the Cyanex. But if you look at it with magnetize and polarize, they've obviously died a hell of a lot faster. Right, now that you've seen what the combo can do, we'll go over the builds. Right, so just like before, we'll move over to having a look at Mag's build and why I chose that build. And then we'll obviously look at the weapons that I showed in the simulacrum, which will be the Zood Prime, the Cyanex, even though I've changed the name of the Cyanex, but it is the Cyanex, and the Redeemer Prime. Right, bit of fashion frame as well. Right, let's have a look at the Mag build then. So here is Mag's build. I've gone with Steel Charge for the increased capacity for the mods. I've gone Aviator for reduced damage by 40% when airborne. Couple that with Adaptation for the 90% damage reduction, plus the 40% damage reduction while airborne. So if you're bullet jumping, aim gliding, and firing while in the air, you pretty much have 100% damage reduction. But because Mag is quite squishy with her 65 armor, and for some reason she seems to take damage more than other frames, I've coupled that with Arcane Guardian, which gives you 600 armor for 20 seconds when you're damaged. Now I've got Prime Continuity for increased ability duration, which is paired up for Polarize, because Polarize ability expands on duration, not range. I've gone with Streamline for more efficiency, so obviously my abilities don't cost as much. I've put in Redirection to increase the shield capacity. I'm using Umbral Intensify and Umbral Vitality for that extra power, strength and vitality. Obviously Adaptation for that 90% damage reduction once it's stacked up. Primed Flow for extra energy to use my abilities. And Stretch, which couples with Magnetize to increase that overall bubble size, so you can block off and lock off areas easier. So with it being quite a balanced build for those two abilities, this is what it should look like. Right, moving on to the weapons. Right, so like I stated before, the Zood Prime actually has a Riven, but we'll go over the build. Now I've gone with Serration for the obviously primary damage. You got Vital Sense for critical damage. You got Split Chamber for multi-shot. You got Point Strike for critical chance. Malignant Force for the 60-60 toxin. high voltage for the 60-60 electricity, that's 60-60 status chance, and thermite rounds for the 60-60 status chance with heat. And with malignant force and high voltage coupled together, that creates corrosive. Now for the Riven, it's got crit chance, damage and status chance to obviously get that 100% crit and 100% status. Now you could switch that out to more multi-shot or overall damage or other elements, that's down to you. But if you do get a Riven, obviously crit chance, damage, status chance, or crit chance and status chance is something you're going to want to go for. Moving on to the next weapon, which is the Synex. I've renamed it Astral Storm, but as you can see on the screen, it is the Synex. Obviously you're going for 100% status with this weapon. And the build I used in the video is this, which is Hornet Strike for the overall damage, Lethal Torrent for fire rate and multi-shot, Auger Pact for extra damage, Barrel Diffusion for even more multi-shot, and all 4 of the 60-60 status element mods, which is Pistol Pestilence for Toxin, Jolt for electricity, Frostbite for cold, and Scorch for heat. Obviously you couple them together, you've got corrosive and blast, and the weapon has basically corrosive, impact, blast, and it has innate gas already on the weapon, so you've got 4 elements there. You can switch this out, so you've got gas, radiation, viral with impact, which is this one. Same thing, you just switch the mods around. Only difference is on this one, I switched Auger Pact for quick draw. Right, next up is the Redeemer Prime. The stance is Bullet Dance. The first mod, obviously the main damage mod, is Prime Pressure Point. The next mod is Virulent Scourge, which is the 60-60 Toxin. Prime Fever Strike for even more Toxin. Voltage Strike for the 60-60 Electricity. Obviously combo Toxin and
chaos. Check navigation for active invasions.
Go away, Lotus. The Toxin and Electricity obviously combos together to create corrosive. Blood Rush to increase the crit chance as it stacks with your combo multiplier. Volcanic Edge with the 60-60 heat. Condition Overload, which gives an extra 60% melee damage per status type affecting the target. And obviously, as you can see, you've got Slash, Heat, Corrosive, Impact and Puncher, so you've got 5 status types there. And Drifting Contact for increased combo duration and increased status chance. I'm running Xeneric to obviously regen my energy when I get low. I've got Helios Prime, like before, and Deconstructor Prime, where if you've got the Gladiator mods, obviously you increase the critical chance on your melee weapons if you've got all the Gladiator mods on there. But yeah, that's the Mag Prime combo with the weapons, and as you could probably already tell, this is not scripted. I'm just winging it and doing it live as I'm playing, and then obviously I'll just cut the footage as I finish the video. But yeah, if you want to see more like this, obviously like the video, comment down below what Warframe or weapons you want to see combo together, or any ideas and suggestions for other Warframe content. Check out the channel, and obviously as always, stay awesome. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in a bit.